Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. We are going to get started in just a moment. Just want to get all the attendees here and logged in and settled in. So we'll be starting in just a moment. So hang tight. But again, welcome. Thanks for being here. Please make sure that you can see the presentation on the screen in front of you as well as hear us. And please feel free to write in the chat box if you are having any technical difficulties, and we would love to help you. But again, welcome. Thanks for being here, and we will be getting started momentarily. All right. Welcome, everyone. Just wanted to get us started here. My name is Emily Daly. I'm one of the Assistant Directors of Admission at the University of Hartford, also an alum of the University of Hartford. And I am here today just kind of as a moderator for you guys. I work in our admissions office, do some traveling for the admissions office, and, have a lot of passion for the University of Hartford. So I'm excited to be here alongside with the residential life staff, to talk about the University of Hartford and to talk specifically about housing at the University of Hartford. First and foremost, just a couple of kind of housekeeping things. Please make sure that you can see the presentation in front of you and that you can hear me as well too. And a couple of our little functionality things that we've got going on here today. There should be on the right side of your screen a question and answer box. And in that question and answer box, in the question and answer box, you can assign people to, you can ask questions, you can, ask specific questions to our panelists or general questions to us. So please feel free to write those questions in there for us, and we will make sure that those get distributed amongst our panelists. And there's also a multimedia viewer that should be down on the bottom of your screen as well too. And if you click on that, it will provide you a link to a bunch of different videos that have different tours of our dorms at the University of Hartford. So you'll be able to see, what the dorm rooms looks like, and Max, who's going to come in and talk to you guys in a second, will explain those to you as well too. So also, again, we just really wanted to thank you guys for taking the time to be here with us today. Obviously, we would have loved to be able to welcome you all to campus and, be doing this event in person and these types of events in person, but we are glad that you are all, here and, taking the time to be here in person, and we're excited to welcome you all to campus in the fall. So please make sure you're utilizing that question and answer box and, definitely ask us all your questions, and we would love to be able to answer them for you. And, without further ado, I'm going to introduce our residential life staff, and I'll hand it over to Max. Thanks, everyone, for being here.
Happy Tuesday afternoon, everybody, or afternoon at least here on the East Coast. My name is Max Koskoff. I am the Assistant Director of Residential Life here at the University of Hartford. And obviously, if you've been on one of these webinars specifically about housing, you've already heard me speak a few times. But I really want to say again, welcome to everyone who's watching, and use the chat feature. We have 3 amazing RAs with us today to kind of help us and really guide us through some of what it is like to live here on campus, as well as to answer some very specific questions that students may have. And so with that, I will start letting them introduce themselves. Angel, why don't you start?
Hi, everyone. My name is Angel Pantlula. I am from Trumbull, Connecticut, and I'm a rising senior. My major is early childhood education. I actually transferred to University of Hartford in the spring of 2019, where I was placed in which is an upperclassmen area. This past year, I'm already in Regents Park, which is again an area we have on campus. And this upcoming year, I will be back in Park River as an RA. In addition to being a resident assistant, I'm also involved with Red Caps, which is our campus's orientation team, which means many of you will be seeing me again throughout the next few weeks.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hanal Rana. I live in Danbury, Connecticut. I'm going to be a senior this upcoming fall. My major is health science pre-medical. My freshman year, I lived in Hawk Hall on the honors floor, but for the past 2 years, I've been an RA in C Complex, which is part of the C&D neighborhoods. Besides being an RA, I'm the president of the Best Buddies chapter on campus, a member of the pre-medical club. I currently work at the bursar's office, but I used to work at the student administration's office as well. I do research with Dr. Colleen Munoz, and of course, for the past 2 years, I've been an RA. So it's nice meeting you all, and I hope I can answer any questions.
Hello, everyone. My name is Atta Sek. I am a rising senior. My major is biomedical engineering with a minor in mathematics. I am currently the RA for sustainability for the Sustainability Residential Learning Community, or RLC. But the last 2 years, I've been an RA for the STEM-C RLC in Hawk Hall. I lived in a complex my freshman year. Other than being an RA, I'm in a lot of the engineering societies, like Biomedical Engineering Society, Engineers Without Borders, Society of Women Engineers. I'm also the vice president of the Muslim Students Association, or MSA. And yeah.
So they are all really amazing students here, which I know, but hopefully you can all learn a little bit about their experiences and learn from their experiences to get you really excited about our upcoming year. So one of the biggest questions we get is, what does the upcoming year look like? So we actually have modified some plans, but we're really excited about these plans. So what the plans include are, we're extending our Hawk Hall deadline. So for those of you who have questions of when will we get in, when will we know, the answer is still looking, or the new answer is going to be looking mid to late July. And that's simply because we really have to start planning. We really need to figure out what the government is saying our density can be in regards to rooming assignments. But the exciting part is we are opening. We are opening with a staggered drop-off. We are opening so that way, for those of you who live very local to the institution, you can come one day, drop off your belongings, go home, and then come back for the August 23rd, 24th. So that's one of those experiences. Another thing that we're looking at right now is fall academic calendar has been changed. President Woodward sent out an email on Saturday, I believe, stating what that new experience looks like. So please take a look at those, but most importantly, as soon as we know things, we will let you know what is happening. So Hawk Hall. Hawk Hall has an essay required for admittance into the residential learning community. All of the rooms in Hawk Hall, with the exception of 4 triples, or 4 rooms, are triples. They're all doubles. Every floor includes a lounge, 1 being study room, 2 just being enjoying lounges. The floors are done by co-ed, but every room is single gendered. There's a laundry room per floor, and the floor has roughly 50 people on it per floor. So again, I equate to Hawk Hall as if you are not someone who is going to be successful in a long community where you can just pop outside and see your neighbor, then Hawk Hall may not be the best community for you. And that's okay. It's just where are you going to find the best successes? So that's Hawk Hall. All of our rooms, all of our first year rooms come with a twin XL bed, mattress, a desk chair, a dresser, a closet. Also included are central air, as well as a internet TV so you can connect your iPad or other computer to the internet service. And we use Xfinity, so you also get a built-in DVR. So all of those parts are part of that experience for all students. So these are just a few pictures of Hawk Hall. This top left one is what one of the lounges looks like. And one of the cool things that we were able to do over the last couple of weeks is to really videotape what those experiences look like. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try and hopefully a multimedia player is on the bottom right of your screen. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go on mute and mute my video. However, what we can see will be a video about Hawk Hall. And you can always go back to these three or this website. We'll put that in the chat for everyone while I hit play. So please enjoy. Hi again, everybody. So sorry that if the videos weren't working for you. I think it's important. We're trying some new technology here of really clicking on the video. If it doesn't play for you, let us know in the chat, because I think one person said that the videos aren't playing, which are okay. So, excuse me. So when you click on that link, it's really, you can then go play the video in your own device or web browser. So the different residential learning communities we have for this upcoming year are Creative Arts, STEMC, honors, sustainability, e-gaming, social justice and leadership, global and community engagement, and wellness. For those, one of the questions that we often get is, what does an essay look like? An essay looks like telling us why you are interested in one of these areas and telling us about why you're passionate about one of these areas and what makes you a good candidate for one of the spaces of that residential learning community. And really, how will you benefit and how will the community learn from you in that experience? And Nora just talked about how you can, in the chat, of how you can also see the videos again, if maybe I went too fast or you missed something. So now we're going to move on to our A through D neighborhoods. So these are where our other, anyone else who isn't living in Hawk Hall lives for our first year students. And Hawk Hall holds roughly 200 residents in it. Between our A through D neighborhoods, it holds the rest of the incoming class, so around 950 to 1,000 students. So the A through D neighborhoods are set up in a suite style hall where it's gendered by floor of this particular building and all of our other buildings. In each suite, there are 2 bathrooms, as well as the lounge area. That's that front window. And then each suite also has roughly 8 to 10 students per suite. So this side of the suite would have 8. The back side of the suite would have another 8 to 10. And again, the rooms are almost identical. They contain the exact same type of things as a Hawk Hall building would. So one of the things that we did over last summer was we did a lot of renovations in our A through D neighborhoods. We did all the basements we renovated to really bring them up to a standard of the University of Hartford and really show pride and create spaces where students can engage in community with one another. So these are a few photos of that renovation. And if we go back to our multimedia player, and we're going to kind of go scroll down to where it says A through D neighborhoods and click those 3 links, 3 videos during this time. Hi again. So those are just a few of the videos that we took over the last 2 weeks on with my quarantine iPhone that I have. So really, I think it's now time to really talk about student rooms. And here are just some beautiful ways that you can make your own living assignment your own. And that's really important to students, is you can customize it, you can bring in your own bedding, you can put tapestries up, you can put up paintings and photos, and you can really make that space your home away from home. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to be in a place where you will be successful here as a student. And we really want you to create your own community, whether that's in your hall, in your room, with your roommate, or overall, we want you to be a part of the larger community at the institution. So for those of you who are transfers and are coming into our community, you would most likely be put into a upperclassman housing assignment if you're transferring in as a sophomore or above, as the needs are a little bit different than a first-year student. And with that, we would either be putting you in our Park River apartments, our Regents Park suites, or our Village apartments. And all of those are a little bit different. And if you have specific questions about that, please reach out to reslife@hartford.edu, and we can easily walk you through what that experience is like. And plus, I think Angel's going to talk a little bit about what her experience was like in a few minutes. So the application process for your housing, it starts off with, first you need to apply to the institution and deposit. After that, about 48 hours, you'll be allowed to go back into your housing portal, which is through self-service, which is a similar site, which you'll get instructions to, and then you do the housing application. Really, it's a 8-page, not long pages, just 8 clicks through a application where you have to fill in the blanks. The important things are really making sure that your profile is viewable, so that way you can search for roommates. And then you also, at the end, just click submit. And then you'll be available to be found as well as to be placed for our fall assignments. Roommates, because this is one of those big questions that we get. After you complete your housing application, you can search for someone. You can search for someone of the same major. You can search for someone who has like interests. There'll even be a way, the way the system works is you can even see people of like-minded interests. If you to request one another, so let's say you want to request your friend who's coming from the same high school, you simply request them, they request you, and then you approve each other's requests, and then you're paired. What the system will do is it will say these 2 individuals want to live together, and then we'll just place those 2 individuals. The roommate pairings have to be mutual. They cannot be, I request you, but you don't request me or accept me back. That will not get paired automatically. For transfer students, we will work with you to house you with other transfer students, because again, we want to make sure that you're coming into the experience on the same level and you have like-minded people who can support you through your journey. So this is where I'm going to have the RAs kind of come in and really talk about activities and events, because this is what they do.
Hi, everyone. So again, my name is Hinal Rana, and I live in the C&D neighborhoods, which is one of the freshman areas on campus. Some of the activities and events that RAs put on, for example, RHA, which is the Residential Hall Association, puts on bingo and sometimes movie nights. Resident assistants put on programs that their students want to see, as well as things that have been successful in the past. For example, one of the programs that I had put on was a paint and chip, which was close to finals week, and it was just a way for students to relax and come and enjoy time with one another and paint for free. Another program that I have put on in the past was called Beauty Beauty on a Budget, which is where I taught students how to do their own eyebrows and avoid the cost of paying for it, since you're away from your family and away from resources, and not all students have cars on campus. But we do put on educational programs as well, such as self-defense classes that one of the former RAs used to put on, as well as different educational programs that students want to see or might be beneficial, such as how to do your laundry, or just anything that had been brought up in the past or during floor meetings.
Ada, do you want to talk about programs that happen within Hawk Hall?
Oh, yeah, sure. In Hawk Hall, some programs that I've done paint nights. Recently, I've done a program that's called the Good Noodle Board, where I had one of the bulletin boards. I had everybody's names on it, and everybody would earn a star if they went to an RLC meeting, and everybody would earn a star if they would help each other with homework. And there was a Good Noodle of the Month who would get a $10 Amazon gift card, and we do fun activities like that. I also did karaoke night. Since we have a little lounge area, we can use that area for different events like karaoke and stuff like that. And yeah, for Hawk Hall, each of the RLCs, they meet for the first semester, they meet every other week. So during those times, we are paired with an advisor, and we do different things that are part of the theme of which RLC you're a part of. So last year I was in STEM C. I was paired with Dr. Lee, which is a biology professor, and we did different activities like invite some speakers, like the dean of CETA, the College of Engineering, Technology, and Architecture. And we even went to the labs, one of the biology labs, and extracted DNA from our saliva and put it in a necklace. So those are some of the type of things we do in Hawk Hall.
Angel, can you talk about the different types of activities and events we would have for transfer students who come?
Well, as a transfer student, I would definitely recommend just going to as many programs as possible, because as coming as a transfer, you don't always get the same experience you would as a freshman. So being able to go out to the different programs that are offered for your building, or even for other buildings, I know RAs are always welcoming people from other living areas to come to their programs and just get to know everyone. That's something I know I wish I had done more my first semester, was just kind of get to know more people at the different programs. And I always encourage my residents who are transfer students to kind of come out, and I kind of introduce them to one another, because even though they do try to pair transfer students together, there are some transfer students who choose to live with people that they already know prior to coming in. So it's still great to kind of be able to intertwine with one another. And again, with my transfer students, I just always encourage them to kind of just get to know everyone on campus and go to as many programs as possible. And living in an upperclassmen area, sometimes it's harder to get to know your RA, just because the way the housing is all arranged, you don't always kind of run into each other. So you might find your RA coming directly to your door rather than having a group floor meeting. So since you're not getting the floor meeting with everyone, getting to know your RA and then them pairing you up with other people that have similar interests is a great way to meet people as well.
Thanks, the three of you. So I think Emily is going to come on and talk a little bit about meal plans for a minute, and I'm going to try and get to some of those Q&As that I have.
Awesome. So everyone, just to talk a little bit about meal plans. So as you can see on the screen in front of you, these are all of the different meal plans that we offer at the University of Hartford, as well as some of the different locations that you are able to eat at. We've got tons of different dining options at the university, and I'm sure all of our RAs that are here as well too can speak as current students to the tons of different food options that we have. But, you know, for the specific meal plans for students, we've got, for our first-year students, we have 7-day all-access meal plans is the traditional first-year meal plan. And with that, we have two kind of different forms of you know, main, what I would call like currencies that we use at the University of Hartford, and those are our dining dollars, and we have our meal swipes as well too. They just also have recently introduced some meal equivalencies as well too. But basically the way the 7-day all access meal plan works is that at our University Commons, which is actually what's pictured in this picture in front of us here, you have unlimited meal swipes with the 7-day all access meal plan, which basically means that you can go into University Commons and eat as much as you want. It's an all-you-can-eat style dining hall. You swipe your card and you can go in and have, you know, anything that they have in the dining hall. In that dining hall, they've got tons of different options between, you know, a pasta station, a pizza station, a grill, an entree station, which kind of varies each and every day, you know, a saute station, a deli in there. You're never going to go hungry. There's lots and lots of options in there, as well as a kosher station, additionally tons of vegan and vegetarian options for students, as well as a peace of mind pantry, which is essentially for anybody who has a severe allergy that, you know, they need to have, you know, meals that are a little bit sectioned off from the rest of the food in case of cross-contamination and all of that stuff. So tons of different options for students. And with that meal plan, typically will come a certain amount of dining dollars as well too. So I believe that for the unlimited 7-day all-access meal plan, it's $100, and I believe for the premium 7-day all access, it's $300 for the semester for dining dollars, and that can be used, you know, in our Gingras Student Union, at our Mo Southwest Grill, at our, you know, Starbucks, at our Einstein's Bagel Place, and those dining dollars can be used at any of the other locations on campus. And then your meal swipes are used specifically here at the University Commons, as pictured in this picture above. And these are, you know, designed for you know, each of these meal plans here is designed for our students and what works best for them. So there is, you know, options for you to be able to pick from. We do also, I do want to point out the last one, we do also have a commuter meal plan as well. So if you are a first-year student that is not planning to live on campus and you're planning to commute, there is a meal plan as well that's a little bit different because sometimes you're not going to be spending, you know, all 3 meals on campus per day. So there's definitely a lot of options, a lot of really great food for the students, and there also is Catherine O'Donnell at the bottom there. There is her contact information in our dining services department in case you guys do have any questions.
Hi again. So one of the things that is really important for us to kind of talk about is what campus safety looks like. So the way safety works is you have every student has their university ID, which also acts as their meal card. First, you need to swipe that in order to get into your residence hall. And then once you're actually in your building, you either need your ID to get into your room or you have a room key to get into your room. So there's always 3 doors in between you and your room. All have locks on them. Additionally, other aspects of safety include we have RAs, and which are the people who have been on screen already, who do rounds to enforce community policies to kind of make sure that the area is being safe and that the community is well attended to. Additionally, we have professional staff, resident directors. These are staff members who are full-time professionals. Their job is to ensure that the campus is running smoothly. We have someone on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So that way we can best help students at any point of the day. And then lastly is our public safety department. We have public safety officers who travel around campus in various methods, whether it's bike or in cruisers or on foot, but they all have their own areas, and there's nowhere on campus that public safety cannot get to within about a minute of a call. We also have LiveSafe, which is an app, which we highly encourage all students to download, where it gets you direct connection to public safety almost anywhere in the world, which is a great feature. So it's a great feature for those people who are studying abroad and who just may need extra support and help in an emergency situation not on campus. So at this time, we're really going to try and bring back all of the presenters and really try and do some Q&A. So Emily, I think this is where I turn it over to you to really lead this. So awesome. I'm going to turn off my stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. So just to get started, we've been seeing all of your guys' really awesome questions coming in. So I know a lot of our RAs as well as Max and even some of the admission staff that is on here as well has been trying to answer a lot of you guys individually, but we are just going to answer some of the ones that we're getting a lot more frequently as well. Max, I am going to bring you back. I know you just turned off your camera, but Max, I was seeing a lot of questions coming in about specifically the Hawk Hall roommate selection process and how that works. Do you think you can speak on that just really quickly for me?
Yeah, thank you for that one, because it's hard to respond to all of those questions. So Hawk Hall roommate requests are, we compile everyone who gets in, we get the notification that these are the people who are in Hawk Hall, and this RLC, and then we give that to the RLC, and then they can go pair and pick one another. If there's always that one off person, and at that point we match it based upon similar interests, and again, that system that you use, your housing application, is a very advanced system, and it takes into account room temperatures, and we, even if it's not a mutual request, sometimes we just match people based upon how the system and how we think they will work with one another. But you are given the opportunity to find someone within that RLC, as well as you're able to also, if you, after the first 2 weeks, if you and your roommate aren't vibing, and hopefully that's not the case, we do have a room change process as well. But we really want to give everyone the first 2 weeks to try and learn about people and open opportunities for exploration.
Awesome. Thanks, Max. And then we also had a couple questions come in. I don't know if maybe Hinal, if you want to come and answer this for me. We had a couple questions come in about, technology in the in any of the freshman living situations. So, what like TV we have. So if you want to talk a little bit maybe about Xfinity, as well as internet access, our microwaves and fridges allow, just all that kind of stuff, what we allow, what we don't allow, and all that stuff.
Yeah, of course. Hi again. So for television and such, so the university uses Xfinity on campus, which can be accessed via smart TVs as well as your computer. Usually if you have a smart television, it comes with the Xfinity app, and it'll guide you to logging onto the website on your phone or computer and logging into Xfinity on campus using your university credentials. And that is provided by the university. However, some issues that I have come up with in the past are parents coming in with televisions and trying to connect cable. The university has kind of moved away from cable television, so a lot of the rooms don't even have that outlet to connect the wire. So my suggestion is to bring a smart TV, or I don't even have a television in my room. I just watch Xfinity on campus from my computer because it's a good enough screen, and usually I'm not watching television. But yeah, so Xfinity on campus is the source of television, but the rooms do not come with TVs. In the A through D neighborhoods, we did get the basements renovated, and there is a TV lounge, which is set up with the applications and such for students to go down and watch TV together. However, the rooms, if you want to have a television in your room, that would be on you to bring that to campus with you.
Awesome, thank you. And then I got a couple questions about specifically, kitchens in, in the dorms and access for first-year students. So, Ada, do you want to come on and talk a little bit about, Hawk Hall and the, the access to kitchens and how a first-year student could use a kitchen?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
There is a kitchen on the first floor of Hawk Hall. And residents are allowed to use it from 7:30 until 10 p.m. Well, 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. because that's when an RA is on duty during that time, and they're in the duty box, so they'll be able to open the kitchen for you. So only RAs can open the kitchen. Residents do not have direct access to the kitchen. On weekends, it is open for longer. I'm not too sure about the direct hours, but as long as an RA is on duty, then they should be able to open the kitchen if it's not at 2 a.m. And yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Can I hop in?
Of course.
So one thing about the kitchen aspect is a few things to know about food on campus. One is Subway is open, I believe, until 1:30 every night, or maybe 1 a.m. on weekdays, 1:30 on weekends. Hawk's Nest, which is another establishment on campus, is open late night, just not as late. So the use for the kitchen is really not about making 4-course meals. It's really about going down and baking some cookies or something like that. But it's also one of those things, if any student needs it, we can give you access to it. And so even if you don't live in Hawk Hall, but you want to come use the Hawk Hall kitchen, you absolutely can. So I just wanted to put that out there real quick.
Awesome, thank you. I did see a couple questions come in, and maybe, I don't know if this can be maybe a group discussion between all of you guys. I saw a couple questions that came in basically asking, how do I know if I want to live in Hawk Hall or the complexes? Which one is, how do I know which one is best suited for me? So maybe if you guys want to, talk about maybe, the decision-making process there for students and, how they can decide, what might be best for them. I don't know if Max, maybe you want to start, and then, or if one of the RAs wants to start. It's totally up to you guys.
Yeah, I'll start with just some general thoughts of size and how people study. And I think it's really a very personal question. So Hawk Hall, as I said, has a floor of 50. A first-year complex neighborhood is going to have a floor of anywhere between 10 and maybe 18. And so if you're someone who likes quiet, if you're someone who really wants to get to know your community and your real close community, then the complex neighborhood is maybe a better aspect for you. If you're someone who is a very true, every single word of it is extrovert, and you like just talking and going and seeing everyone and meeting everybody, then Hawk Hall may be a better environment for you. It really comes down to long hallway of people versus small cluster of people. But the resources that are available for both. And it's the same resources. We still have amazing RAs doing programming, developing relationships. We still observe the same policies. So it's really almost the same living environment, or it's almost the exact same educational environment. The only thing different is the living environment and the physical space. But I mean, Hanal lived in Hawk Hall, so did Ada. So I invite, I think, both of them to kind of talk their decision process. out with everybody?
Hi. So I actually I lived in Hong Kong my freshman year and have lived in the complexes ever since. So I kind of have like that double experience. But going into my freshman year, I decided to be in Hong Kong, one, because when I accepted becoming a pre-medical major, I thought that I wouldn't do well in like a setting where there was more students around me, especially when the complexes didn't have the renovated basements and it was just the common lounge for the floor. So Hawk Hall was really a hit for me when I saw the study lounges per floor. And I had applied to the honors RLC because I came from high school being an honor student. So it was kind of just like there was like no choice. I knew I wanted to be in Hawk Hall, so I applied and I got into the honors floor. And to be quite honest, the long hallways weren't an issue for me. When I was in the hallway, I loved talking to my neighbors. And even when you were in the hallway, you didn't really see that many people. It was just once in a while you would run into a neighbor or two. So yeah, that was my decision between the complexes and Hawk Hall, and I actually love both. So yeah.
I did not live in Hawk Hall my freshman year. I lived in the A neighborhood, so it was very different. I While I was in the complexes, I stood to myself a lot more. It was like I'm more introverted, and I just liked staying in my room. So that was like a good place for me to stay. Um, and like if I needed to study, I would go to the library, or like I had friends in Hawk Hall, so I would go with them to like do group projects in the community lounges and stuff like that. But being in Hawk Hall and like seeing how people interact in Hawk Hall, it's definitely like a more interactive place. Like people would go to each other's rooms. It's a lot more accessible. Like I would walk out and people would talk to me, and I'd be late to class sometimes. And it's a lot more talking with each other, and like it's a more community-ish. But if you're like more reserved, I would definitely recommend the complexes.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So I did see a couple questions coming in about meal plans and the first year meal plans and all that. So I did see a question that asked about if dining dollars were per semester. So yes, dining dollars are per semester. So if you're doing the 7-day all access meal plan, you get $100 dining dollars a semester. If you decide to go with the premium 7-day all access, that's $300 a semester. And somebody also asked, what the main difference is between the premium 7-day all access and the 7-day all access. And as I just mentioned, there is a little bit of a difference with the dining dollars that are provided for those, but there are also meal equivalencies that come with the premium 7-day all access. And I'm wondering if one of you guys might be able to help me. It has been a little bit of time since I was a student, and when I was a student at UHart, they didn't have this new meal equivalency option that they have. So I was wondering if one of you guys would be able to hop on and maybe explain them to everyone, if possible.
Okay, so I've never had the meal equivalency meal plan, but from talking to my friends, they chose to do the meal equivalency in order to save money on dining dollars. Meal equivalency is basically how they work is like at Starbucks or in Jenga Student Union, there's usually a sign of what a meal equivalency swipe is for, like Starbucks. For breakfast, it might be a sandwich and a drink, as well as like a dessert or whatever. But a lot of people use the meal equivalencies in order to save money in order to have more dining dollars in the long run. But students and my friends who have had both haven't run out of them. So I guess it's just preference on like how much you're going to eat, if you're going to bring stuff back to your room, if you're going to save stuff in your refrigerator, or what the case is. And I think it's just student based.
Awesome, thank you. So I did also see a couple other questions coming in about, dining hours. I will say that I think one of the best things about our dining options at the University of Hartford is that you're definitely never going to go hungry. They open bright and early, and as I mentioned in the meal plan slide, tons of different options for students to be able to go to tons of different locations to get food on campus. So what's nice is that I believe that the dining commons closes at about 8. And then, after that, Hawk's Nest, which is our kind of one of our late night dining options, that opens up, and I think it closes around like 10:30. We have the Subway on campus that's open, I think, until almost 1 o'clock in the morning at this point. So there's definitely a ton of options for sure in terms of hours for dining. You're never going to be able to, you're never going to be hungry. There's definitely lots of options for students. So definitely no worries there. And then I did see a couple questions come in specifically about what's kind of nearby to all of the freshman housing. So, right around the corner from Hawk Hall and the neighborhoods is our sports center and our health services office. I would say it's like a 2 to 3 minute walk to get to any of those, if even that. Right around, it's a really great little space for the students that if everything is really accessible, the dining hall, as well as, sports center, our, health services office is right in our sports center as well too. So definitely a lot of options for sure. So that's definitely a really great thing. The sports center, I did see a question about that. The sports center, I believe, is open until 11 p.m. So definitely really great hours there as well. So, and then let's see. I did have Max, I don't know if you want to come on and talk about this. I've seen a lot of questions come in about asking about mini fridge / microwave rentals. Is that an option for students? How does that work?
Yeah, so there is a company called Microfridges that does do microfridge rentals. It's a mini fridge microwave combination. Most students choose it because it is easy in the sense of they will come in, set it up for you, bring it to your room, you leave it there, and then they'll take it away from you at the end of the year. So it's a great option. For those of you who do not want to do that, who want to invest in buying a small mini fridge or microwave that will last you 4 years, go for it. There are some space restrictions and more so size than anything, and that can be found on our ResLife website about those restrictions. I believe the microfridge also is on our website, but if not, I'll put it in the chat in about a minute.
Awesome, thank you. And then let's see here. So I do want to, I know that we've gotten to a lot of the questions already. I did see one come in about being able to purchase a parking pass. Yes, all students can have a car on campus, freshman through senior year. There is a fee for the parking pass, and it will be on your self-service account. I'm not sure, I don't know if anybody knows, but I'm not sure when they're going to be posting that, but they should probably be posting it at some point this summer to be able to purchase a parking pass for the school year. So definitely keep an eye out for that if you're interested in having a car on campus. But yes, you can have a car on campus all 4 years. And then let's see. I've also seen a couple questions, Max, if you, I don't know if you have an idea of this, but I have seen a couple of people asking where they can find out about room dimensions. Do you have an idea of where students can find that information?
So yes and no. If you email ResLife, and it's ResLife, and I'll put it in the chat, at hartford.edu, I don't think the room dimensions are on the website. It's probably one of those things that we should add to the website. So we'll have marketing work on that. But I have a sheet of paper that says what the room dimensions are. And so I would email ResLife and I can simply just get back to you individually. The rooms are just a standard size though across the board.
Awesome. So I think I want to, encourage people to start, continue asking your questions. And I did see a couple coming in about having jobs on campus. So absolutely, we do have work study options for students if you are awarded work study as a part of your financial aid package, but any student can have a job on campus regardless of work study or not. Tons and tons of opportunities. I know we employ a lot of students through the admission office, obviously residential. All of the students here work for the residential life office. Tons and tons of opportunities for students to be able to have jobs on campus and make money while they're here at the university. So absolutely an option for our students. And let's see. Everyone's been so great about answering questions personally in the chat. I don't know how many more we have in here. So I am going to also ask a question to, I do see one that just came in here. Does maybe, again, Max or even one of the RAs, if you guys want to touch on this, talking a little bit about Greek life and how housing works for Greek life. If there is housing for Greek life, are they housed separately, how that works?
Trying to find the unmute button is becoming harder and harder, I think. So housing for Greek life is, we don't have dedicated housing for Greek life. If you are in a sorority or fraternity, we often find that those individuals usually decide to house with one another in our village apartments or Regents Park or suites after their sophomore year and higher. So really it's on the students to self-select into that space, but we don't have specific spaces saying this is this fraternity or this is this sorority's living establishment. But the same process and the same thought patterns also go towards clubs as well as athletics. So it's not just something where Greeks go into this one space.
Awesome, thank you. So we're still going through the questions. I know everybody is doing a great job at answering as many as we can of them privately in person. I do want to kind of just ask my own question for the RAs. If you guys want to jump in and talk a little bit about this. I always like to talk about, what's one opportunity that you've received from the University of Hartford that you would have never expected when you were coming into being a student. I always like to ask that because I think it's really interesting to hear about our students and their experiences and the opportunities that they've received. And it can be, whether, it's during your time as an RA or just as a University of Hartford student in general. So I figured I would open it up to you guys just to talk a little bit about that. I don't know who wants to go first.
Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, so I always like to just ask, what's an opportunity that you received through the University of Hartford that you might not have expected coming into the university? Like, what's a cool opportunity that you gained from the University of Hartford? It can be anything.
I can go. Oh, are you going?
You go first. I'll go after you.
Okay. I noticed when I entered the university, there's a lot of diversity, and I think that is I really enjoyed the diversity in the University of Hartford, especially since I am a biomedical engineering major. I'm a STEM major. in engineering specifically, and there tends to be a lot of not diversity in engineering, but in my major, I've been blessed to have a whole bunch of people from different backgrounds and different cultures, and I think diversity is really important in like learning about different cultures and like developing as a person. And I think UHart has definitely given me that. And being an RA has really taught me to deal with different types of people that aren't like me or don't think like me, and how to like really bring a community together, honestly. And like I've dealt with roommate conflicts of all different types, and like now I can delegate with people so like really well. Like I noticed that improved a lot, and like it's just it's just a lot of opportunities I've been given, especially in residential life. And like I've met a whole bunch of people that I will never forget, and it's a great opportunity. And like being in the University of Hartford has really helped me grow as a person, helped me see people that are like me and are not like me, and that's really, I think, a really strong point of UHart. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Nal, did you want to go next?
Yeah, so an amazing experience that I never thought I would get from going to the University of Hartford, if you were to ask me 3 years ago, was from being a part of the honors program. For those who want to be a part of it or join it, you're required to make some of your classes honors, and in order to make it honors, you're supposed to do something extra and get it approved by your honors coordinator. So for my cardiovascular class, I ended up making that honors, and I ended up going to a cardiovascular conference, which was held in Hartford, and that's where I made a connection of meeting pediatric cardiovascular surgeon, Dr. Heller, and I want to become a doctor when I grow up, and that was one experience that I never would have seen coming. So now every time I have questions, I've even shadowed her, and I've shadowed people that she has worked with, and I think being at the University of Hartford opens up a lot of opportunities, and like Ada said, there's a lot of diversity, and I wouldn't have thought that I would have made as many connections as I did so far. And another experience is I've recently joined on to research at the university and have been doing research with Dr. Munoz, which has been a great opportunity. So just being in this environment where everyone wants to do similar things or has similar interests and wants to, or sees like a common goal at the end of the long tunnel is really nice. And it's nice to have that support and faculty and staff and students that are willing to take that road with you or be there and be your support system, as well as the RAs, and just res life and facility and everyone around you is very supportive. So that's one of the amazing experiences I had.
Awesome. Thank you. Angel, do you want to come in and talk a little bit as well too?
Yeah, I definitely agree with both Hanal and Ada that the campus is just very diverse across everything. I've met people in majors that I didn't even know existed when I first transferred, and it's just crazy how like everybody's so welcoming, and that was one of the things that drew me to University of Hartford right away, is that everyone I met, despite where they came from or like what their major was, what they were involved in, they just kind of welcome you with open arms, and you can like at first it may seem difficult to find your place, but just give it time and just try to get involved with as much as possible, but definitely don't overbook yourself with different activities. Like space them out, give your focus on like your me time, but also put yourself out there, even if it's just going and sitting at the library or sitting in commons and just like going up to a group of people and saying, hey, can I join you guys today? Because I know that was something I had done on my first semester, and I ended up making like my close group of friends from that, just kind of going up to a random group of people and just saying like, hey, I don't know anyone, like, do you mind if I sit with you? And just since everyone's so welcoming, it's kind of like a normal thing, and like you'll find your group eventually.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I always like to ask questions like that because I think it gives you a good idea of, what it's like to be a University of Hartford student. So, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah. I'm not an undergraduate student here at all. I've never been an undergraduate student here. And one of the things that I'm always amazed about is the community around our student population, how they're willing to support one another, whether it's in good times or in bad times, whether they are there to sit with one another, whether they're to praise one another, to support one another. And I think one of the biggest parts of deciding a college experience is, what is the community going to look like? We know academics are across the board great. You know what you're getting when you come to an institution of academics. One of the hardest parts is to feel welcomed. And I really truly believe that the University of Hartford is a welcoming environment to all. And we really strive for that. We really want to make you a part of our community, and for you to be a part of that community. And that's really what our students, whether they're RAs, Red Caps, Red Key Society, really kind of strive for. And I think that's one of those unique parts about this campus, is we are very community focused. Sorry, I just wanted to hop in there.
No, absolutely. I completely agree with you, Max. Thank you for saying that. So next, I am going to turn it over to Shane Ciccarelli, who is our Associate Dean of Admission, just to come on and chat a little bit about the fall.
Good afternoon, everyone, and again, thanks for joining us. My name is Shane Ciccarelli, Associate Dean of Admission for the University of Hartford, and again, we are eager and excited to be able to welcome you all to campus this fall. As I was looking through some of the questions, I saw, understandably so, lots of questions around fall opening, particularly around the circumstances related to COVID-19 and obviously the uncertainties there. So I just wanted to address what we know as of today, and I think that it's important to key in on that piece. This is what we know today. This is a very evolving situation. The university is using the most current information we have available to make decisions and to make our plans, and we are communicating that out to you as quickly as we can and as soon as we know it. So let me just first re-emphasize that our desire is to do everything possible to return to delivering a safe and in-person and largely residential education this fall, which means bringing you all to campus for classes and obviously living on campus in our residence halls, which is why we're having this particular info session. We are eager to have all of you on campus, to bring your energy back to campus, to have you engage with our returning students, to take advantage of the many clubs, organizations, and opportunities, as well as all of the tremendous things that will happen in the classroom when you arrive this fall. We also recognize, though, that we have to take very seriously your safety, the safety of our staff, the safety of the faculty, and our entire campus community. And so we are doing that. So some of you that have participated in these events before know that the university, is going through a scenario planning exercise with several different committees working on all of the different possibilities that could happen for this fall. So we have several teams across campus working on those scenarios. And it's very possible that there's going to be a blended approach. Recently, you should have received an email from the president of the university about our current fall opening plans as it relates to classes, talking about the move-in week, where we will do assigned dates for move-in so that we can stagger the move-in on campus for students. If you didn't receive that email, please be sure to check your inboxes at your personal email accounts or email us at admission@hartford.edu and we can resend that email. Also, I will put out in the chat a link which provides a calendar of our fall opening. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that in the chat now to all attendees. And this is a calendar that will give you information about our schedule for fall opening. Okay. This will talk a little bit about health screenings. Students will have to go through health screenings when arriving to campus and in the fall. just to ensure we are complying with Center for Disease Control and health departments. And we are, of course, taking their guidelines into consideration and really following their policies regarding how housing is going to work. So several of the questions that popped up were, am I going to be in a single? What is the bathroom circumstance going to look like? How many people in a residential facility? And I think today, truthfully, the answer is we still don't have complete answers to those questions. It's a little bit premature to make those final decisions. Again, we're working with all the guidelines from the Center for Disease Control, the state of Connecticut, and our health partners. For those that don't know, Hartford Healthcare is our primary healthcare partner on campus. We are extremely fortunate to have such a tremendous resource in Hartford Healthcare providing our healthcare services to our students on our campus. And so our facilities teams are playing a significant role in the housing configuration for our students, looking at the suite style versus the double style, our apartments, and determining what the occupancy will be able to be. This is, in fact, as you listened to Max speak, why there is a little bit of a delay in some of the room assignment information, because we don't want to send you out a room assignment until we are certain of what our occupancy limits can be and what the CDC and the state of Connecticut and our health care partners will allow us and advise us to do based on the current healthcare situation for our residential spaces. So we have not made those final decisions yet. Please bear with us and stay tuned, and we will continue to get you that information. Information like how many people can share a bathroom, what is the educational opportunities for this new normal, and what are the expectations on keeping our campus clean, what are the options for single versus double rooms. All of those things will be coming to you. Further, we're even looking at things like dining, right? Our partner, Aramark, who provides our dining services on campus, are working on tailoring all of the needs of our students while adhering to the health and safety guidelines that are being put before us, because, again, this is extremely important to us to ensure the health and safety of our community. So we're considering changes to hours of operation, looking at the menus, looking at providing students more grab-and-go options, looking at touchless options, possibly some reservation systems and other technologies that we can use with monitoring the flow in our in our dining facilities. So, again, all of this being considered, all of this being discussed, and we will continue to get you that information. There is some information that has been decided, and that information you do have by email as far as when we're opening, when students will be going home, which you should have been notified will be students will be moving home during the Thanksgiving break. This will allow students to be home through the peak of flu season and not on campus. That does mean that there will be 2 weeks of time where you will not be utilizing room and board on campus that you typically would in a normal semester, and we will be adjusting bills to reflect that 2-week loss in room and board. So again, you will not be charged for that time that you will be going home. Again, all of that information outlined in the president's email. So please go to that hartford.edu/fall-opening website for further details. And do know that we will continue to be transparent and forthcoming about all of our plans as they come together under the guidance of the Center for Disease Control, our state officials, the health department, and our healthcare partners. I think that is what I wanted to say. I'll certainly pay attention if further follow-up questions pop up as a result of that.
Awesome. Thank you, Shane. Appreciate you giving all that clarification for us. So before I go ahead and wrap up here, just a couple of things. We do just want to also clarify that the complexes, so A through D complexes, are the same things as the neighborhoods. I know there can be a little bit of confusion there. We have changed the names over to neighborhoods, but a lot of people, including myself, have been calling them the complexes for a long time. So we're working on transitioning over to calling them the neighborhoods, but I do want to reemphasize that is the same thing. With that, I wanted to, really just take a minute to thank all of you for being here today. We really appreciate you guys joining us virtually. As I mentioned before, we would have loved to have been able to host this kind of event on campus, of course, but we are glad that there are so many of you here that have tuned in with us today to talk about, housing at the University of Hartford. And I just want to say, a huge shout out to Hanal and Ada and Angel for coming on and taking the time out of their day to, represent what the student population looks like here at the University of Hartford. In my experiences, the RAs are always some of the best student leaders that we could possibly have on this campus. They are just all around great representations of what it's like to be a University of Hartford student. So I want to thank all of you, and Max as well too, for being here today and talking to all of our current students about, what it's like to, live at the University of Hartford and the experiences that we have here. So thank you all for being here today and being, a part of this virtual presentation that we have here today. With that, we did provide some contact information on this some contact information on here for the residential life office, dining services, as well as admission and financial aid. If you do have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to us and ask us any questions that you have. We're here to help and we answer as fast as we possibly can. So please feel free to reach out to us if you do have any questions. But again, thank you guys so much for being here. Max and all the RAs as well too, guys, thank you for being here. And we are looking forward and so excited to be having you all come to campus in the fall, and we can't wait to see you then.